yeah.
Is that what you write about for the papers and for the magazines?
Yes, I write about, I'm always trying to find the story. I call it storytelling with structure. So if I just simply meet someone, and then when I meet them, if they tell me like they're an artist or an entrepreneur, or they just simply have an idea, I go out of my way to follow up with them and just make sure like, hey, why don't we like see if we could work together? You know, you have a business and you're trying to advertise yourself. Why don't we try to do it maybe the old-fashioned way, through the papers, through the headlines? And it actually does work, and people, they love it. And even though everything is online nowadays, the first thing they'll say is it in the newspaper? And then they're like, well, can you get me a few copies? And then I'll give them like 5 copies, and they're like, oh, can you get me a few more? So when people are like, you know, print is dying, I'm like, no, it's not. People still want it to be in the headlines. They still want that community feature, and they want a whole bunch of things.
It's interesting that you say, people say print is dying, because people told me...
Social media, what you can do, like, hey, here's my latest article, click the link. So that way when you hand that resume over, it's like a visual resume, so it's like they can read it, but now if they look at your links, they can physically see it. So I just felt like it was, like I was saying earlier, just preparing for the future.
I love what he says.
And the articles he sent are just incredible. The
love
community pieces you've done, the 5K, and people helping each other and raising awareness, they're all feel-good stories about what's happening in our community, which is so nice and so important.
And trying to break the barrier. We've talked about for 8 years to bring the Latino circuit into the community, because there's so many Latins in Florida. And we have another studio in Miami, and even more Latins down there. So I wanted to build up a show that I can take here or down there or anything in between, to introduce the Latino community, which is different. Mm-hmm. The Latin community is different.
I remember that article, and thank you. And it was like that Rocky moment when it's like, finally, someone from our hometown won.
Very nice.
It's the story behind the story. That's always what it is, right? It's what gets people to that point that the story's written as the inspiration.
Definitely.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you. This was an awesome experience.
Such a pleasure. Well, hang tight. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, I think they've put together a Kahoot game. We'll talk to Michelle and see what else the producers have got going.
Absolutely.
More to come. We'll be right back.